Everyone knows the top 5 QBs in the league. You've got Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar. But there's one name that people just can't seem to put in the top tier, despite everything he's done. Jalen Hurts. He's won games, he's led his team to 2 Super Bowls. But for some reason, when it comes time to rank the top 5 QBs, Hurts gets left out. And I get it. You might think, he's just a system guy, or he's not flashy enough. But what if I told you that everything people are overlooking him for is exactly why he's more than deserving of a spot in the top 5? In this video, I'm going to break down the undeniable facts, the stats, and the proof that Hurts belongs in that conversation. Let's start with the facts. The numbers don't lie. Since Hurts became the Eagles' full-time starter in 2021, here's what he's done. 14,600 passing yards, 85 passing touchdowns, and only 39 interceptions. A career pass rating of 93.5. Now, those numbers alone put him in elite company, but what really sets him apart is his ability to do it on the ground. Let's talk rushing yards. Hurts has rushed for over 3,100 yards in his career. He scored on an astounding 55 rushing touchdowns. Now, this is where many people argue about the infamous tush-push play, but let me ask you this. Why are we discrediting Hurts and the Eagles for a play they've run to perfection? You're criticizing a play that they've executed so well for no reason, and nobody can stop it. Anyway, that's where Hurts separates himself. Only a few QBs have matched his rushing production. Lamar, Josh Allen come to mind, but Hurts, he's closing the gap fast. In fact, by the end of the season, he could very well surpass Allen in terms of rushing. Now on to the third and probably most important part of this conversation. Numbers are great, but you know what separates the good from the great? Winning. Jalen Hurts isn't just a stats machine. Since taking over as the full-time starter, Hurts has led the Eagles to a 42-17 regular season record. That's a 712 winning percentage, which is more than impressive in today's NFL. What's even more amazing, in the playoffs, he's 6-2, and that includes a Super Bowl appearance and an MVP award in 2025. And it's not just about winning, it's about how he wins. Hurts has repeatedly demonstrated the ability to step up in clutch moments. In fact, after the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2025, Coach Nick Sirianni was quick to say, Jalen is the guy we want leading us. There's no one I trust more in big moments. This is a player who's been the backbone of his team, the unquestioned leader, and that's something the stats don't always capture. Let's talk more about the playoffs. If you want to prove your spot in the NFL, you have to show up in the biggest games of the year, and Hurts has done more than that. In his 8 playoff games, he's accounted for 17 total touchdowns, 10 of them through the air and 7 on the ground. Not to mention, Hurts has posted a 95.4 passer rating in the postseason, which is higher than QBs like Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. Let's break it down. Over 350 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns in the playoffs. And let's not forget the Super Bowl. Hurts had 221 passing yards and a Super Bowl record 72 rushing yards, while scoring 2 total touchdowns in one of the greatest performances we've seen from a QB in recent years. Oh, and he also just took home the Super Bowl MVP trophy. If we're talking about clutch, Jalen Hurts has nothing to prove. He's been there, done that, and delivered. Now, I want to talk more about his legs. Jalen Hurts isn't just a pocket passer. He's the definition of a dual-threat nightmare for opposing defenses. You've seen it. 3rd and short, he's running the tush-push and getting those extra yards with his massive legs and his upper body strength. The offensive line helps out a lot, but Hurts is really the one who gets the extra yards. He's got elite vision as a rusher and mastered the art of the design run. But here's the legitimate thing. He's also a legitimate threat through the air. In 2022, in his runner-up season for the MVP, he threw for 3,700 yards and 22 touchdowns, while rushing for 13 touchdowns. In 2023, he was even better with 35 total touchdowns, 15 rushing, and 20 passing, although he did have a couple more interceptions. In fact, Hurts was so dangerous in the red zone that he tied the NFL for most rushing touchdowns by a QB, 15 touchdowns in 2023. What's scary? He can kill you in so many ways, scrambling, running, and throwing the ball deep with accuracy to receivers A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Hurts is the kind of player who forces defensive coordinators to lose sleep at night and scheme up game plans for him. So if Jalen Hurts is putting up these kind of stats and winning these big games, why do so many people leave him out of the top 5? Well, here's what the critics say. He's just a system QB, carried by the team around him. He doesn't have an arm talent like Mahomes or Allen, and he's not as creative or flashy as Lamar. Let's get this out of the way. Every QB plays in a system. Whether you're throwing to Jamar Chase or A.J. Brown, that system will elevate your stats. Hurts' system works because he maximizes it. He thrives on it. He's grinding for everything he's earned. Remember, he was benched at Alabama, transferred, drafted in the 2nd round, and still led the Eagles to a Super Bowl in under 3 years. He's not just a product of his surroundings. He's made the system work for him, including his offensive line and amazing receivers, tight end. He will always find a way to win. Let's dive into this top 5 QB debate. You've got Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, and Burrow. And then there's Hurts. People would like to compare him to maybe Justin Herbert or Jaden Daniels, but here's my thing. Justin Herbert has been in the league just as long as Jalen Hurts, and yet he has not had a single playoff win. And Jaden Daniels, he might be better, but he's just a rookie and really hasn't proven himself anything. One good year, you saw how it turned out for CJ Stroud. Anyway, Allen might have the strongest arm, but Hurts beats him in ball security and playoff success. Burrow might be the more polished pocket passer, but Hurts is a better dual threat and has proven himself in bigger games. Lamar might be the most explosive athlete in the league, honestly, but Hurts is a more balanced as a passer and a runner. Bottom line, Hurts is durable, clutch, and just as capable as any QB in the league to win a championship like he already did. Well, that's all that I have. Hurts has put up the stats, earned the wins, and has proven himself time and time again that he's one of the most well-rounded QBs that the NFL has seen. He's just 27, and that's the scariest part. He's only getting better. Put some respect on his name. Jalen Hurts is a top 5 QB, and it's about time we recognize it. So what do you think? Is Hurts a top 5 QB? Let me know in the comments, and drop a like if you agree. Subscribe for more football breakdowns. Thanks for watching.